What's going on, YouTubes? What's going on, YouTube world? You know what? Today, it's a beautiful day, though. I just got back from work. I think my sea salt water, though. Intermediate fasting. Not that I really need it, but discipline, spiritual reasons, and. I want to talk about podcasts. No, I'm not doing one, though, but if I did, it has to be a much better setting, and then who would I invite and what would we talk about? But anyways, podcasts though. I do watch them and here and there, but one podcast in particular that I started watching lately is the Brotherly Love podcast. Brotherly Love, that kind of sounds familiar. I'm like, yeah, brothers though, men talking to each other, siblings though. And you're thinking, Brotherly Love, where did I hear that? There, the Lawrence brothers, yes. Joey Lawrence, Matthew Lawrence, and Andy Lawrence. So I remember them. Do you remember the show Brotherly Love? Disney Channel, the 90s. I watched that growing up. I know they were also in a couple other shows. Matthew Lawrence was in Boy Meets World. I know he was also in the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. No. Andy Lawrence had a few Disney movies of his own. Also, I think he was in some shows. And then Joey Lawrence, the older brother, he was also in some shows, though. I know a very famous clip of him when he was a little boy and he was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and pretty much floored Johnny Carson when Johnny Carson asked him, do you stay up and watch the shows? Well, when I do, I'm vomiting and stuff, but it was in a joke to say, oh, wow, he vomits when watching the Carson show, but apparently it was a story when he was sick. But no, it's great because watching listening and watching this podcast, I know almost all podcasts when the guest is on, they're talking to the host and stuff. It's genuine, it's raw, it's uncut, and it's just real in a way, though. And watching the Lawrence brothers talk, it's just it's total, complete sibling communication, especially talking over each other, cutting off. One person sends their story, though, and, going back and forth, this and that, but in all means of, for good, and stuff. And it's just, I genuinely feel like this is these guys, how they really talk and stuff. And we just get to know their personalities a little more, though. And, they talk about compassion, commitment, stories from the industry, though. I definitely liked in the last podcast where they bring in guests and guests share their stories, though, to them. The last guest on here on their podcast was saying his family was going through tough times about losing a mother, and a lot of it would be in terms of bringing humor to certain things. So, and that's what the Lawrence brothers would also do: bring humor, just to not feel good about, to feel good about the situation, but just make it, easy to get by. And one of the things was this guest would talk about his family would just, do videos and skits and stuff like that, and he mentioned Mrs. Doubtfire, though, which Matthew Lawrence was in that movie, and I really liked where Matthew Lawrence would say, how Robin Williams will make it, made everybody laugh on set. He would do take after take after take, and he just wished, reels would be like that to homage Robin Williams. And he said in the scene where drive-by fruiting, though, they're at the pool, and then Mrs. Doubtfire throws the lemon at Pierce Brosnan's head, and he's the character that is dating Robin's wife, who's played by actress Sally Field, and apparently Matthew said that scene was totally scripted, improvised, That was Robin Williams, though, because that was scene that was not written in the script, though, and that is pretty crazy but awesome at the same time, because it also showed Robin Williams' just natural acting talent ability, and it's just go, 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 and how funny he can be. So, man, I would love for the studios, like, I think it's this year, to be Warner Brothers, though. Get all that real footage, the takes and stuff, and just compile it into one video, and then just put it out for us fans and stuff to see. But anyways, podcast, though. It's a good podcast. I like it. I really don't watch too many other podcasts. I've seen Bradley Martin's Raw Talk podcast, though. Yeah, I saw the episode where Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Joseph, was on there. I watched a couple of clips from the Hodge Twins podcast, though. I don't care if they're conservative, and, they're very political. I don't care. So the way they talk is hilarious. Of course, Joe Rogan, though. I mean, he's been at the podcast game now going, 11, 12 years or something? Some people say he would be the OG. I would say no. I mean, the Tonight Show is kind of a version of that, and then it just kind of changed up. No, just having guests and just talking for a certain amount of time, and really just kind of telling certain stories. Some people say maybe it was just Howard Stern, because he was kind of more of like the first person to like be active on certain medias and just talking and just spreading word out. I mean, yeah. Anyways, you probably might have saw this. This right here is called a tripod. No, for where's my phone? Yeah. Yep. So getting these damn things to, see. Woo! So I could have it, some of my videos and stuff like that. Yeah, just decided to. I was shopping and I'm like, ooh, like, you know what? I'll get that. Always nice to invest yourself a little bit, right? No, and you gotta always have a certain camera with a setup, but nice little tripod though. But yeah, go watch the podcast. Brotherly Love podcast. So they're the Lawrence brothers, though. Hey, they tell great stories from the industry, though. They tell personal stories, like especially Joe Lawrence was saying at one time when he was a little kid, he almost got kidnapped, because his family, because apparently when he was a kid, and then when his younger brother Matthew were kids, because there's a big age difference between those two, and then their youngest brother Andrew Lawrence, so he's my age, so we're talking like 8 to like 12 years of age difference. But when Joey and Matthew were kids, so like their mom would drive them to auditions, and they would travel and this and that. But yeah, they were telling me crazy stories, like especially like in New York back in the 80s and stuff. It sounded crazy, of either getting robbed or, crazy stuff like that. But anybody from New York that was living in New York at that time would say, that was true, though. To be out and about, especially at that time, though, I mean, yeah, you had to be really careful. It's different now, but back then, yeah, completely. It was a little more dangerous, though. Anyways, I got much love for y'all, and I'm probably gonna send. It's crazy how many just views and stuff like the shorts are getting, though. But I still like to post more genuine, longer videos, raw, uncut, and edited, and just being me. Alright, anyways, got much love for y'all. Go see the Brotherly Love podcast, so I'll put in a link in the description below. Alright, and I made the video in under 10 minutes, and I'm out. Bye.